I'm so excited today because we're going to make a no-knead, super simple, really delicious bread. I love bread. I love to make it from scratch, but I don't like to have to knead it. So this is a really simple recipe that anyone can do anytime. And we're going to add an extra flavor to it today because we're going to use our essential oil seasoning salt. So let's get started. So in my bowl, I'm going to add 3 cups of all-purpose flour. You can use all-purpose flour or you can use bread flour. It doesn't really matter. So 1, 2, and 3. To that, I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of yeast. You only need a 1/4 teaspoon, which is really remarkable. Some recipes call for more yeast, but this one is really great because it's just a 1/4 teaspoon, and it doesn't matter what kind of yeast. You can use regular yeast or fast rising yeast, no problem, they both work. So I'm going to add that in. And next I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt. Now this is the seasoning salt that we made before with essential oils and some dried herbs. And I'm going to add it to this bread recipe to enhance the flavor a little bit. So I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of our pre-made essential oil seasoning salt. And the next step is to add hot tap water. It doesn't have, not boiling water, but hot tap water. And you just pour that in, and we're going to take a spatula and turn it into our spoon. And we're going to put it right, I'm going to give this a quick stir, and then we're going to pour in the hot water. You can use 1.5 cups to 1 3/4 cups. This dough is supposed to be really shaggy and supposed to look, it's going to be very sticky and very shaggy looking. That's what they call it, shaggy. So if it feels a little dry, you can just add some more water. And you want to just mix it until it's incorporated. It's really sticky, so don't be afraid. So that's what I have. So now I'm going to take this plastic wrap and put it over this bowl and let this sit right on the counter, not any particular place, just right out onto the counter overnight. At least 3 hours, but up to overnight. So I have done this bowl yesterday, and it has been overnight sitting in the bowl, and you can see how nice and puffy it got. You can see it's very doughy, very bread doughish. So what I'm going to do now is we turn on our oven to 450 degrees, and we put a Dutch oven inside so it heats up with the oven, because you want this bread to go into a hot Dutch oven. So I've already done that, so I'm going to take out my hot pot and and then we'll transfer the bread into it. It's really important to remember that this pot is very, very hot. You don't want to accidentally put your hand on it. So I'm going to put some parchment paper into the pan to protect the bread, and then I'm going to place the bread right on top of it. You see it's super sticky, so I'm going to put a little flour over the bread. And now I'm just going to shape it into a nice bowl and put it right into the parchment paper. And now I'm going to take a lid and put it on top, and we're going to put it into the oven, our 450 degree oven, for 30 minutes. So that's going to sit in the oven for 30 minutes. And then we're going to take out our bread, and what it's going to look like when we take it out of the oven. This is a half a loaf that I did earlier. Look how beautiful that is. That is a stunning piece of bread. And now I'm going to slice it into pieces so you can see inside the bread how beautiful it is. It has a nice, beautiful crust to it. And look how gorgeous that is. Look at that. And I'm going to take this beautiful gremolata that we made earlier today, and I'm going to use it to spread on top of my delicious, beautiful bread. So this is my gremolata, and I'm going to take a spoonful of this and just spread it onto my gorgeous bread, and there you go.